Thank you so much for joining us on Ubuntu Lifestyle. Welcome to the program and welcome to it. Thank you so much once again that you have joined us. My name is Lawrence, as usual, hosting you on tonight's special program. Now, last week, Diamond TV released a list of nominees for the Personality of the Year awards. These are these are awards that are given every year to deserving artists and personalities or companies and organizations in their respective categories for their respective achievements. And remember, it is you out there who is supposed to vote. And as things stand, Diamond Media gave an update to say over 1.3 million votes have already been cast in the first 4 days of these uh, voting of this voting process, and we are here to discuss some of the nominations that have been made, and probably just give you a hint here and there who we feel should win in those categories. But remember, these are opinions, and we're not saying those are the people that are going to win. I'm not alone to go through these nominations and these lists and all. I'm joined by Sami Lance Banda, who actually is a media personality himself and should help us here and there understand exactly what they are looking for in these various awards. Lance, good evening, and thank you so much for joining me on Ubuntu Lifestyle.
Good evening, Lawrence. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on this program, and looking forward to obviously having a very fruitful deliberation as we obviously get to look at a few participants that have been chosen or that have been selected in this year's awards. Obviously, we know that Diamond has been holding these awards at least for, if not over 3 years, at least it should be 3 years over. So it's nice to look at the nominees and then just get to scrutinize them one and the other. Though it feels awkward to be on the other side, getting interviewed and giving expressions and opinions. Thank you so much, Lawrence.
All right, and just before we dive into this, we are fresh from the Kwacha Music Awards, and quite a number of artists made quite some noise and won awards here and there, and we can say that the vote that went to one man last year as a punishment to another has diverted back, and the one who was being punished last year ended up with 5 awards. Lance.
Um, you know, I think I'm one of the people that has been very consistent talking or commenting about these awards that we have in Zambia when we get to deal with musical awards. In the first place, I'm never for the idea of the selection process. Of course, not taking anything away from the organizers of the Kwacha Music Awards. It's a good job that they do. It's always nice to try and recognize talent as it is. But unfortunately, entertainment industry in Zambia is more like something which is, for lack of a better term, I would say a court. If a horde of people don't like you, no matter how good your music is, no matter how good your art is, definitely you won't see light at the end of the tunnel in terms of these awards. So maybe I would tell you that these awards, especially the Kwacha Music Awards, since inception, they've always been mad with different artists, different players coming out and complaining to say the selection process was wrong, the nomination process was wrong. And when you even look at the categories where certain people in certain songs are put, you would wonder to say, how does this song qualify to be in this category? How does this person qualify to be in this category? So
And, and
we need
and the
to
one that
work on identifying the right people.
Go on, go on, go
Yes,
on.
Lawrence, you're saying?
Okay, I was trying to say
Okay. Yeah. So,
the one that made so
in,
much noise is actually the Shamboko song. I think Namwinga was dealing with this particular issue yesterday on Gospel Zone. For those who missed the program, can scroll back up and check yesterday's live broadcast where Namwinga was talking about the same issue. Lance, I'll ask you for your opinion. Shamboko Gospel, is it? Okay, seemingly we have lost Lance there, and obviously he's going to try to join us back. But like I said earlier on, if you missed uh, the program yesterday, which was hosted by Namwinga, dubbed the Gospel Zone, they were looking at actually these same awards, the Kwacha Music Awards, where Pompey and Esther, their song, the duet titled Shamboko, won as the Boys Gospel Song of the Year, and that raised a lot of debate online. And I was just asking Lance, who is now back, what is his take on that? Do you believe that was the best gospel song of the year?
well, if we get to anyway, in my own view or in my own personal view, I wouldn't say Shamboko was a best gospel song compared to those that were put in the category. But also allow me to say this is, I think this is what I was trying to build on to say we put people in categories that they don't belong into, or we put songs in a category that they do not belong in just because they sound like a said category. Okay, so in the first place, one needs to understand music on its own. Okay, you have to know the different genres that are there in music and what qualifies this song to be called this particular genre. Immediately we get to understand that, or immediately organizers of these events manage to understand that, and their team which they put across to get nominations, when they understand, only then will we have the right people and the right songs in the right categories. So for me, no, that wasn't the best song, that wasn't the best gospel song in that category. But hey, due to the fact that it's what was on the frenzy, everybody was vibing to it, or everybody was loving it because it just came out at the exact moment when these awards were about to happen. So people went with the flow, and there we go.
Okay,
We have the current best gospel song.
let me ask, is
Yes,
it a
Lawrence.
gospel song? Let me put it that way. Is it a gospel song? So that we can move on.
No, it's not a gospel song.
All right.
Shamboko is
That's
not
the
a
answer I
gospel
wanted.
song.
Thank you. Let's proceed now and go into the other awards, which are scheduled for later on in the year. And these are the personality of the year awards, that is POTY or POTY awards, which are hosted by Diamond Media, and this will be the fourth edition of this. And we go into it with the first category, which is the best customer care, where we have Airtel Zambia, FNB Zambia, MTN Zambia, NAPSA, Yango, and Zamtel, all nominated for this award. Lance, first and foremost, uh, are you in support of these organizations there with the customer care?
To tell you the truth, I was disappointed when I saw this because I was actually expecting ZRA to be there. You will agree with me, or somebody that is watching will agree with me to say, over time, ZRA has really and seriously improved. This is one company that has embraced, even online platforms. So The fact that ZRA is not here, it tells you a lot to say we are missing a lot in this country. We are missing a lot, or probably Diamond needs to come out and explain to us, the voters, as in to the reason why these are the selected or the nominated, as it is put. Why are these the nominated? What criteria were they using to determine that these are best qualified to be in this particular category? Trust me, in fact, you know, I've been complaining time and again of my network, and you have these same so-called providers in that category, like for real. It doesn't make sense. So I do not support. Oh, I can only support NAPSA. Sorry, I can only support NAPSA because also NAPSA, I think over time they have upped their game. Although at some point it was a circus when you go to NAPSA, but for now I would say they've really upped their game. And from all these selections, all these nominations, NAPSA for me does it. This is the only right nomination which was put in here. FNB, trust me, I receive messages every day. Our ATM is down. We inconvenience. How do they even qualify to be in the best
I
customer service? What criteria are
Lance,
they using?
Lance, I'll tell you this. When I saw this list personally, I think four, let me count, one, two, three, four out of the six nominees, I've had a horrible time with the customer care actually this year. If you talk of Airtel, I have quite a number of case numbers and things like that. You talk of MTN, their customer service has a habit of dropping calls when you're trying to explain a problem to them. I think this is a problem that I have actually constantly asked them to work on. But when one agent picks up your call and they seemingly can't help you, they'll just drop your call and that's it. Done deal. FNB, wow. I, I've had I've had I've had problems and problems and problems with them. You have an issue, you call them, and it seems like helping you. I think if I was to open my emails, my email, you would see a lot of mails sent to FNB complaining about this and that. Zamtel, the customer care seems not available in on most occasions, actually. You call and you can't even reach them.
It's never
You call, you
available.
can't even reach. And they made it to the list, and I was like, oh, okay. How did we get there? But if you were to ask me, Laz, how
Mm.
how is Ratsa also missing here?
Exactly. So this is what I was saying. If you can have organizations that we have seen to say their communication has really grown, their customer care is just top notch. It's absolute there. You know, they have a one-stop shop where everything is digital. It doesn't even take 2 3 minutes before they respond to you. They respond to you, they take care of the problem, they get back to you, and you are happy with the response and how they have dealt with you. They are missing on the list. So this tells you to say the selection process is very bad to the core. I think here Diamond TV was just going with names. After all, Airtel has been in the country for a long time. MTN has been operating for a long time. Why not put them, since these are things people use each and every day? But they forget that we have businesses that uses ZRA every day. We have people that want to get their driving licenses and have their issues solved. You have Rasa solving all that. So the fact that these are missing, it tells you a lot. So for me, in this category, this was a miss.
Okay. Let's move on to the next category, and we are looking at the best female music act of the year, because we're looking at personalities of the year. So, best female act of the year, we have Cleo Ice Queen, we have Esther Chungu, we have Sampa the Great, we have Towela, we have Zaven. So, we are cool with the nominations first and foremost.
Well, knowing the criteria that is used in this category, I would say, yeah, for this one, I go for it because I know what they considered when they were selecting this particular list. So in this one, yes, I'm all good. And maybe even to go further and probably explain or talk about it, you know, when we come to this category, we are not looking at the music video, okay? We are not looking at the music video, how somebody dresses or how they act or react in the video, but here we also talk about stage management, okay? So if these artists have got shows, how is their stage performance? When we talk about stage performance, obviously we are talking about an artist communicating with the people, creating a bond with the people, as well as knowing what kind of language the patrons are up for. Okay, I have attended many shows. You know, I've seen where this artist has the biggest song in the nation, but you know, people are just vibing to the song, but they're not feeling the artist because of their poor performance when it comes to stage work. Not to promote people, but to tell you the truth, if this was a male category, mostly I would go for Danny Kaya, because Danny Kaya with stage performance, trust me, he knows how he interacts with the people, just as Peterson Zagaze. When we come to the ladies, I think the only show that I haven't gone to is Esther Chungu's show. Apart from the Pole Pole tour, which was at Piazza, but hey, mostly we were out there for Pompey and stuff like that. So this is a tough group. And believe you me, I hope and pray that the fans are not voting for the name. I know people are going for the name, and looking at the names that are here already, I see Sampa the Great winning this one. But if we go with the right of looking at how does somebody perform on the stage, we're talking about act here. We're not talking about what name they've built for themselves, but we are looking at how do they perform either on stage or even when in the public or as they are doing their music videos, because there are some videos that tell the story. Just by looking at the video, you would know that this is the story that the song is talking about. So for this one, this is for me, this is okay, Lawrence, and I'm just hoping that the best is going to win the day, and the patrons will definitely look at the great acts and not the name that somebody's building.
Okay, if you can just give us a hint, in your opinion, who do you think carries this one?
Well, with this one, because of the name and because of the hype that she has come with, Sampa is lifting this one. Sampa is going home with this one, because obviously, you know, there's that friends or that wind which is there to say, hey, she's been doing great. After all, she's nominated in the BET Awards. She's represented Zambia in the States. One of her songs was used as a trailer song for the Wakanda movie. So people are just going to throw that loyalty in that way, not really looking at, okay, so uh, what does she has best to save the Zambian people or to save the masses when she's out there on the stage? How does she take the stage? So Sampa is going to get this one because of this frenzy which is there. She's the current trending because of the milestones that she has achieved.
Okay, let's move on to the next category, which is the best gospel personality of the year. Now, surprisingly for me, I would say there are some names that I have seen. Um, there are some names that I've seen that probably have not done so much this year, but they made it to the list. We'll talk about that. But the nominees are Pompey, we have Esther Chungu, we have Christine, we have Ephraim, Chile Chevalier, Abel Chungu, and Chilu Music. Lance, is the nomination here on point?
Okay, so in this one, they are not looking at who has a new song or looking at who is maybe putting up an influence somewhere. I think for this category, they are actually just looking at, okay, so uh, they pick from the odd favorites. Who are the odd favorites? Okay, Ebo hasn't done much in the recent. When we look at even Chide Chebwalia, just after her marriage, I think she has thrown all her attention to the marriage, and the music has really gone to bed. When you talk about Christine, well, Christine, I think after the dissolution of her and Sannie,
Okay, we seemingly have lost Lance there. Hopefully, he's going to come back and join us on this platform. Remember, you can leave in your comments and let us know exactly what you think by leaving a comment wherever you are watching us from, be it on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, and uh, everywhere else. And we will be able to get your comments and also your views. Now we are looking at the nominations in the Diamond Media Personality of the Year Awards, which came through last week on Monday, and we are going through the list category by categories. Though we are not going to cover all the categories, we'll get as many as possible so that we can help you, the voters out there, make a choice and decide, understand exactly what the categories are all about, and it is what Lance is helping us to achieve. Now, as we are still waiting for Lance, we can still go through the names and probably just synchronize and understand exactly the rationale. Remember, we are looking at the Best Gospel Personality of the Year award. We have Pompey and also the wife, Esther Chungu, who have actually blessed us with so many songs throughout the year and keep on giving us quite a number of music. And we continue jiving to everything that they've got. Now, at this point in time, let me ask my producer to just take us on a very short break as we await for Lance to also turn up. And on the other side, we shall be together and continue with this program. Or maybe before we even go, Lance is back in the studio. Lance, are you able to get us?
yes, I'm able to hear you. Sorry about that. I had an incoming call.
All right. Much appreciated that you are back. Please, you can continue where you left us from. You were explaining that some of the artists have not done much, and you are explaining the rationale behind these nominations.
Yes, so like I was saying, Christine also hasn't been out very much after the dissolution of her and Kings, where we've seen both going their own way and trying to obviously make it out there in the industry. Then, well, with Chilu, I would say this is one artist that is coming up great, in my own opinion. This is one artist that is coming up great, but I feel the nomination just came too early. I know we need to recognize talent as raw as it is, but this is quite too early for Chilu to be part of this nomination. Well, Ephraim, with Ephraim, he's been more into bringing up, I would say, training or being a master guide for these young gospel upcoming artists. I think I've seen him many times having conferences. I've seen him many times having workshops, just teaching the music etiquettes to young musicians, especially those that want to spread the word of God. And I think yes, he quietly right deserve this nomination. But here I know they are looking at, these are already the big names that are there. These are people that you know. But from their works, from what they've done, from what they are doing, what kind of an impact do they have in the industry? Who do you think is the best personality of the year in this particular category? So
So,
They were
Lance,
just looking at
help
the
me
impact.
understand. I
So
think
if you go with,
help me and the viewers understand, Lance.
yes, Lawrence.
You are saying it is not about who has done what in the course of the year, but we are looking at uh, the acts even from odd. So does it mean that in this particular category, even songs from 20 Chakut or 19 Chakut can win you this award?
So here, I think, like I mentioned, they are looking at the impact that one has. Okay, so having songs from as far as back as 2002 to now does not win you this award, but rather they are also looking at what have you been doing in the background, what kind of an impact are you making currently to make sure that the industry or this particular category does not fall. So hence my talking about Ephraim, because Ephraim, I think, has been an integral part. He has played an integral role in making sure that gospel music continues, the journey continues, and he continues mentoring young people that would like to venture into music, especially gospel music. So here it's not about the song, here it's about the impact. What impact do you have? Okay, if people look at you, the way you associate yourself, whether in public or in the private, when people look at you, do they see you living what you are preaching? Because remember, gospel mostly, these gospel artists must live as to what they preach. So we are looking at that. Do they live what they preach? Do they live what they talk about? What impact do they have? Are they changing lives? Are they winning souls for Christ? So even through their music, is their music winning souls to Christ, or their music is just, one of those where we sing along to it today, tomorrow we are trying to find another one because it has, apparently it has no impact of whatsoever. It's just a vibe along song. So that's what they are looking at. What impact do you have as a personality?
Okay, let's delve into the next one, and it's actually the best social media comedian of the year. This one also is quite interesting, Lance. We have Vawiso, we have Charity Katanga, we have Kiri, we have Maza, we have Teresa Liainga, and Ndine Emma. Now, some comedians came out to express disappointment and all that. Do you understand where they're coming from?
Uh, Lawrence, some things sometimes I just look and I say maybe some things I should just be sitting and not commenting on everything. Yes, quite all right. I don't know everything, but there are just some things which even a layman, just upon seeing, they would tell that, hey, I think these are wrong nominations. Since when did Kidi become a comedian? Okay, since when did Kidi become a comedian? It leaves very much to be desired, just because she is a radio personality, and just because she goes over on TikTok and mimic other people's songs, or do that which she has to do because TikTok has to pay her, doesn't make her a comedian. First of all, we have to understand who is a comedian and what is involved in comedy. What kind of comedy is it? Okay, so for me, Kiri was a no. Well, I was even joking with her workmate, the one she works with, the one she does the show with, Kukwitunje. I think Nine, I should be posting my dancing videos in the booth. I may become a comedian as well and get nominated. Okay, some nominations are wrong. Some nominations do not need to be there. So if they are saying that Kiri is a comedian, then what are they making of? Anyway, maybe not what are they making of. Maybe perhaps we should also come and say everybody that does that, for lack of a better term, that nonsense which they do on TikTok should then also be called comedians. because that's all that she does. Uh, when we come to anyway, most of these guys I know them. I think I've interacted with them, and we've sat in one place, maybe doing one or two things. So the other can be okay to say, okay, yeah, this is a right nomination, but then you also think, why have they left out this one? Why did they leave out that one? So perhaps the criteria also, Diamond TV, what they should do when they are publicly announcing these nominations, they should be coming out and mention the criteria used for one to get this nomination. If it's a
Okay.
People's Choice nomination, one thing that I will tell you, Lawrence, the lesson that I've learned with 5FM radio that I'm with now, every time I'm on radio, when I'm playing rumba or when I'm playing Kalindula, I have same people Monday to Friday that request for the same song from the same artist with the same title, and after that, they complain that Lance plays the same playlist every day when they are the ones that are
Yeah,
requesting for that same song.
yeah,
Today,
yeah, yeah.
I want Aminata. Tomorrow, I want Aminata. The other day, I want Aminata. Dude, don't you have any other song you'd love to listen to? So, if again you give too much liberty to the people to make these selections, these are the wrong nominations that we see. So Diamond
Now,
TV should tell us what is the criteria they use. Yes, Lawrence.
Lance, Lance, I think I sometime last year I hosted Lucky, the comedian, right on this program, and we had quite a great interaction. And um, after these nominations came out, he pointed out to say, uh, probably some of us are not being nominated because of the language that we use or where we come from and things like that. Could that be the case?
Icon, that shouldn't be the case. And if that is the case, then we should call these awards as selective awards. They have people that they want to nominate or to get at least a tag to say, oh, I was nominated in an award. I'm an award nominated Shan
May not
Shan or
be.
Chakuti Chakuti. Language should not be a barrier. Here we are looking at the work output. You know, one thing that I've always told people is that it's not about the numbers that this person has on their social media following, but it's about the impact that they make or that they have. These numbers, bwana, we can boost the page. As I am going live, I boost the page. Even robots are given to me to like or to follow this page. Muntu, it's so shocking that muntu apeska ina 500k followers or follows. When they post, only 2 comments, 3 likes. What has happened to the 5,000? Or to the 500k. So let's look at the impact, the work done, and that same work done, what impact do they have on the people? What trail do they leave on the people? Remember, comedy also, even these our comedians, comedy is not just about making a fool of yourself and nobody gets any sense out of it. Okay, comedy is about teaching, finding you find a way of teaching a social aspect of life or a social topic, find a funny way of how to teach it to a person so that they relate with it. Okay, for
Yeah.
example, let's pick out issues of child abuse and stuff. Those are things you can use in your comedy, but let it be in a way that as you are doing it, yes, I may be finding laughs and stuff like that, but I should be able to learn one or two things to say, oh, so this is bad, this is right. If I go about this, this is not the right way. That's how it's also supposed to be. So this is what comedy should be, not a comedy
Lance,
yawe mwandi. It leaves much to be desired.
Lance, I'm
Yes,
going to
Kanje,
push
you
you here.
have many comedians, but none can pull out a crowd.
Lance, I'm going to push you here. Who do you predict to win this one?
Mm.
Are you quiet, or your network has left us again? Okay, seemingly there is a network challenge there with Lance once again, and this time around, let me ask my producer to just take us for a commercial break, and we'll be back on the other side.
Globally, 85% of infertility is because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Okay. Since I've been mentioned, I can react to what comment Chinda just
Yes.
I haven't finished my point.
Remember,
No, let me finish my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front know the kind of damage they have done to our economy and to our country? I do not.
The alleged abduction of Pamela Chisupa, and this case has really kept us on our toes. And in as much as
nobody has been acquitted from this new dawn administration cases that have been started. There's nobody that has been acquitted. Okay?
CJ, foreplay. I'm not talking about jump and begin acting like a kangaroo. No, foreplay. Many of us as Africans, we lack this virtue. This is not there.
Yeah, the time project ku Malabo. What's about the first game toilet was Sannie. I think very tutasana underrated because even the warm up, you can see the way they are doing warm up. But munakati bora na wawina kali no.
It's actually good if you start creating competition in the team. If you don't create competition, then you will have a problem. Who to replace when one is injured?
The names people have been calling me, I accepted them and I will stand them. But what I would prefer being called as a nickname, I would prefer being called Sambalong.
From it, we can't make the Bible fit us and have things that make Esther feel good, and things that Esther doesn't really feel good about, she'll edit out.
Welcome back, and Lance is definitely right back in the building, and we are so happy that you have stayed with us and continue to join us on Ubuntu channel. Remember, this program is live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X or Twitter formerly, and we are here to discuss the Personality of the Year awards. We continue from where we left from, and we are going right back into it, pulling out the big categories now, and we are looking at the best male music act. Next, Lance. This one has Your Maps, Chef 187, Chile 1, Maki 2, Pompey, and Y Celeb. Lance, are you with me?
Oh boy, oh boy. This is this is why I was asking to say, or I was saying, Diamond should tell us the criteria. Now, if you compare this one and the best gospel has got people like we mentioned that have not done a new song in 4 or 5 years. They are there as best something something nominated. We come to best male act. We have artists that are in there all because they are very consistent with producing music. They are very consistent with being on people's lips. Obviously, your boy Your Maps is always up in the media, social media, for good and bad reasons. Chef 187, well, I think after the album, he's gone a little bit quiet until now when we hear of the Coppola experience, which they are putting up, which obviously he would be headlining.
Don't tell me Lance has again dropped due to internet challenges. Don't just tell me that. But we are looking at these wonderful categories. I look at every artist in here as having done something meaningful. I think probably one of the most surprising there is the retired General Markitu, who told us he's retired, but he's actually bringing out big hits and big bangers. And we are wondering, is he really retired, or the retirement was just a fuss? We don't know. Obviously, Lance will come and help us digest all that when he comes back. We can also look at Chef 187 with who gave us his most recent saving, which was the Broke Nolunkumbwa album, and made quite a lot of noise with it. We can talk over Your Boy, Your Maps. I mean, we have a lot of bangers that he has saved us with from his current album. Lance, welcome back. Please, you can take it up and explain to us about this category.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. So I was talking of Chile One. Well, Chile One is also just like Your Maps in the media for good or bad reasons. Hasn't done anything new, which you would say, okay, this is new. I think he's concentrated much on features, and those features, I think, they've become bangers. Well, Makitu, the retired general, is still up there. Producing music here and there, and people are wondering and asking, how is he retired if music continues to come out? Well, it's a very simple explanation. You can't find Mark II performing at a show to say, oh, Mark II is headlining a show here and there, because he has retired from doing that. But making music, he hasn't retired. He's up there finding talent and helping other talent to do what they can do best. Well, we got to Pompey. Pompey, it goes back to because he has a new album, and his current promoters, Quito FM, I think they are doing the most to make sure that he's out there and gets noticed and stuff like that. There's nothing much to talk about Pompey, because literally the man was quiet until Quito decided to take him up for the Pole Pole album. Hence, obviously, this nomination. Well, Y Celeb has got a brand new album as well. So far, people are vibing to it, and I think
Okay, once again, Lance has dropped due to connectivity issues. We sincerely apologize for that, but this is a live broadcast and such things to happen. But the broadcast continues. Now, as I pick it up from Lance, where he ended, he was talking about, he was taking us through the most recent offering from Y Celeb himself. Obviously, he has done quite an amazing amount of work, has given us so much music in the year, and also Y Celeb also more or less like Marky 2, but obviously Marky 2 is at his own level, but Y Celeb as well has seemed to take up some motivational role and picking up raw talent, especially from the copper belt, helping them up on the scene and trying as much as possible to give them the limelight. And he seems to be quite good on that. Quite a number of artists have given him the tributes, have given him the juice, have given him the thanks to say he has actually been so much helpful, and they cannot really stand without having been put up by Y Celeb. Big up to that, and that is the mentality that we always try to encourage. Most of the artists that we featured on this program, we always talk about the same thing. How many are you trying to help? How many are you helping? Who are you helping? And things like that, because it is important that when you go up there, you are able to drop a rope and pull up one or two to be just where you are. And so, looking at this category, one can say it's quite a tough one, because obviously your map seems to be having it all. If we can take the reference from the Kwacha Music Awards, which just ended, and we saw him pull out 5 awards. I don't know if he pulls this one out, he takes his category as well. I cannot say. As we will come back, Lance over and he goes again. Wow. So I continue to say it's quite almost predictable to say maybe your maps carries the day, but you cannot write off Chef 187 from anywhere. You cannot write off Maki 2 from anywhere. And also, Pompey has grown in stature, has grown in name. He's a brand, a very big brand, if we can put it that way. And you can never underrate where Pompey is. At this point, we go to the next category, which obviously is the most fashionable female personality of the year. And now, particularly this one, I think it draws so much from the Lusaka July, where we look at fashion and trends and all that, and where everybody tends to have that opportunity to judge and look at outfits and look at who actually knows how to bring out the fashion and all that. I'm not sure, Lance, are you able to hear us this time around? Lance, are you able to join us this time around? Okay, seemingly he still can't hear us because of the network issues, of course. And so, in the most fashionable female personality of the year, we have Cleo Ice Queen, we have Kidis, we have Mampi, we have Mutale Mwanza, and we have Ruth Ronnie. Now, just after the Lusaka July, we saw everybody crying out to see Mampi, because everybody claims Mampi understands the assignment when it comes to fashion, when it comes to dressing up and all that. Could it be that that's the advantage that she has in this category? I don't know, but we saw quite a number of outfits. We saw Mutalemanza, especially like Lusaka July. Well, I'm not basing these awards specifically per se from the Lusaka July, no, but I'm talking about fashion trends consistency when it comes to fashion and understanding the assignment whenever it comes to dressing up to the occasion. We've seen Talemwanza obviously coming up, giving us brilliant outfits here and there. We've seen her outfits criticized here and there. It doesn't matter. She's there in the category. The onus is up to you, the viewers, and hopefully you should be able to take up this mission and understand and give out the award to who you feel deserves it the most. But here at Ubuntu, we are here to just run you through these categories and also help you understand what you expect to find and maybe just show you who you're supposed to vote for. But impressively, Diamond TV has already told us that over 1.3 million votes have already been cast. That's just big time voting from you, Zambians. Zambia tamkokola paso, and we really, really appreciate you for supporting all these things that support that are there to help out and recognize and recognize things where they're supposed to be. I think there are quite many categories. We can look at the most fashionable male personality of the year, where we have Brian Chanda, we have King Ilet, we have Peter My Life, and Komba Makutila. Well, some of these people, I've never seen them, I've never heard them of them, but they are there. Good time for us to learn more about them. We can move on and talk about the most influential social media personality of the year. I think this is where Kurikantu. We have Ben Lombe in there, we have Kidis, we have Magnet, we have Mizukanjin, Nakamba, we have Mtale Mwanza, we also have Simon Mwewalen, that is SML there. Now, who made it for you on social media? Who was speaking for you? Who has the most followers? Who has the most influence when it comes to social media? Who owns Pamuela? Who has it there? Who can control things like that? That is what we are trying to find out in this category. I don't know who. I'm just running them down because obviously my guest is off. We can also look at the most influential youth, where we have Brian Chanda, we have Johnny Kalenga, we have Sabetha Zulu, and we have Sophia Chapeshamano. Sophia Chapeshamano also coming through, and all these names. Who is the most influential youth, if you can feel them? A rising star of the year, we have Mordecai, Estrap, we have Jeff Tapiri, we have Teresa Liainga. Well, I think this is a more familiar category. And who do you think is the most rising star? We have Mordecai making waves with his fire song. We can talk of Jeff Tapiri, obviously from Pali. Most of you know him as Kefas from Pali. We can talk of Teresa Liainga, who is actually also nominated in the comedy category. Comedian of the social media comedian of the year. She is also featuring in that particular category. And then we can talk of the biggest, where we're looking for the song of the year, where we have Chef 187 featuring Blake with Nobody. We can also talk of Your Maps alongside Ebo Chungu, Try Again. Other songs coming up, Mordecai with Fire, blazing hot song there. Chile One with Isen Mutambe. We can talk of Maki 2 alongside Your Maps with Mutima Wanga. And we can talk about J Cash alongside Your Maps again. People like us. Who deserves the song? Who deserves the Song of the Year award? All those things are up to you, our viewers. All those things are up to you, Zambia. Keep on voting. You have the voting links. You can follow the voting links and the voting instructions on the Diamond TV pages on social media, on various social media platforms. And I think for us, this is where we end. My name has been Lawrence, hosting you throughout the program. I was hosting Lance, of course, who was giving us an expert analysis because he also comes from the media fraternity, and he was sharing with us exactly how these categories were coming about. And unfortunately, he dropped off due to connectivity challenges, but nonetheless, that is just all about it. And thank you so much for joining us. Remember, you can rewatch this broadcast over and over and over because it is right on this page, wherever you're watching us from, be it on YouTube, be it on Facebook, or be it on X, also known as Twitter. This is where I end. Good night, and continue supporting Ubuntu channel with your viewership. Thank you.